What's going on, guys? Chu here, bringing you another review and reaction on Boruto. Now, I want to start by saying I hope you all had a great Christmas, had a great time off, whatever it was. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Honestly, I wanted to do this a couple days ago, but with the holidays and everything, I know I'm a couple days behind with this chapter review, so bear with me. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So, we start off with this chapter with the conversation between Boruto and Momoshiki. Now, we had seen that they had this conversation about 2 chapters ago, I believe, maybe 3, not exact. But the conversation was had, but we don't know what was discussed. And now, here in the beginning, we actually get to see it. And I do like that, because in the last chapter, we saw Boruto getting to use the karma. Now, we know that this is a very bad thing. It's crippling him to the point to where he's become Ototsuki. So we see here that during this conversation, both Boruto and Momoshiki were able to strike a deal. He says that if Boruto is able to use this power, that he would give his body up willingly to Momoshiki. And he actually understands that he's serious. He can read his intentions, he knows his feelings, and he knows that what Boruto is saying is to be true. So he agrees to this, and he also mentions the fact of Kawaki. He says that Kawaki will try to attack you once this control to me happens, and I will kill him. And he says, look, just tell me what you want. Are you going to allow me to use this or not? And he agrees, but I think Boruto might have an ace up his sleeve. That's just me. I don't think Boruto is willingly going to just give up his body in order for Momoshiki to come back, but we'll see. So now with him having the karma, this gives him an advantage up against Mamushi, aka Bug, and the fight was okay. I want to say it was just like watching a bunch of like putties from like Power Rangers fighting against Boruto, and Boruto wasn't really having much of a struggle. The only problem is, as we already know, is that Bug is able to multiply. He's able to go and make many copies of himself, dumbing him down, yes, but he's able to then, go everywhere and cover different bases. And that's kind of what he does in this chapter. We actually see other versions of Bug going into other parts of Konoha. They even go to the shopping district and just looking for Ada, of course, being dumb. He's just walking around like, where's Ada? And it's just kind of funny. But we have Kawaki also showing up. He's fighting Bug. And I like how in this chapter we see that he's also using his karma. And he reminds me a lot of Juro. He's using the rods that Juro is famous for using. And he's fighting. But they're not the only group that's also fighting. We also get to see the fight with, the fight with the Inojin along with Chocho and Himawari. They're all fighting together, and this is nice. I like how that they're also getting an opportunity to get their shine. And while these guys are all split up, we also have a conversation still ongoing. We have Mitsuki, who's still being detained by Kubo, which at this point, I'll be honest with you, Kubo is annoying. I do not like him as a character. He's really trying to get to the bottom of this. I get it. His job is to, continue to interrogate until the point to where he gets his information. But I think he already has some suspicions that something isn't adding up. The story is wrong. He's just got a feeling, and he's just wanting to confirm that. And I feel like especially with Shikamaru, time is running out for him because Kubo's going to find out somehow. And of course, Mitsuki, he's not really saying a ton. We also have Konohamaru, who is still there. He's trying to figure out. He's having a conversation with, of course, I was saying telekinesis, sorry. A message with Shikamaru. They're both talking, and we see that Shikamaru's like, we got to get Mitsuki out of there. He needs to help out, and he says it's an order from the Hokage. Sai as well. I want to say he kind of reverts back to his Anbu days, who is just following orders. He's loyal to the village, as we know, but he's just kind of like annoying me a little bit, because he also mentions the sighting of Boruto, which of course is a target for Konoha. They want to get him and, lock him down for the whole, death of Naruto, which is not the case, as we all know. But it's just, I don't know, Sai kind of annoys me right now because he reminds me of his old days, just because how he's acting. But thankfully, Konohamaru does actually go in. He gets to try to stop Kubo from talking to Mitsuki, and Kubo calls him out on it. He's like, who are you covering for? What is going on? And he's like, what? No, I'm the one that didn't lock it, and, that's the truth. And, of course, he's like, okay. Well, now I want to talk to Shikamaru. Bring the Hokage. So now I'm worried. I'm a little worried. Not that Shikamaru can't shake him off, but I'm worried about what Kubo is going to do to try to get information out of him. He's interrogated Konohamaru. He's interrogated Mitsuki at this point. The only other person he can interrogate is Shikamaru. And if for whatever reason Shikamaru spills the beans, I think his days as Hokage are over. So we'll see what happens. But by the end of this chapter, we see how the fight between Himori and Mamushi, along with Inojin and Chocho, is still ongoing. And Inojin's watching. Sorry, how I say Inojin? Sorry. Inojin is watching ahead. He's watching from a distance, of course. He's with Koji. But we see him watching, and he has a smirk. Like, he's like, something's up. So I wonder what that is. But as always, though, guys, that's it. Take care.